How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, I am no longer a metahuman. I'm a Fortnite character now. And this is awesome. It's going to influence a lot of what I do here, a lot of what you see on my short films. Now that we can fully customize a character, I'm actually running a hybrid build. I'm just going to call it that way because I am doing a metahuman rig for the head, and the rest of the body is actually the Fortnite skeleton. Now, I didn't showcase this before because Epic didn't give us access officially to the Fortnite characters, so I thought there would be some kind of a problem. But I've seen a lot of people from UE5.1 communities using the Fortnite characters, and Epic hasn't said a thing, so might as well us use them too. And I'm using them as a test. We're going to talk about why there are amazing characters for us to play with. But for now, there will be a tutorial on this video on how to get something like this guy right here. And some people commented on him saying that he looks a little bit creepy. It kind of does, but he is what I would call the easy way of doing things. So you will get a stylized head with a stylized body that you can use with the Fortnite body. I'm going to give a link in the description down below for you to download the Fortnite characters. Most of what we're gonna do this time is going to be in Blender, so it's free and it's easy access for everybody. Now, when it comes to the actual Fortnite stylized face, that one is, I would say, on a different level because it does require some 3D art skills. What I had to do was I had to go into ZBrush, I had to dust off my old character art skills because, well, the texture was not matching, so I had to make the texture myself, make it look like Fortnite, which is something that I kind of know how to do because of the way they textures things. That's kind of a technique that I really like for characters. And we're going to talk about that in a later video. But for now, we're just going to make it nice and easy for everybody. Now, a couple of things about the Fortnite characters that are pretty interesting is that they are one-to-one with the mannequin. So that's one of the things that you're going to see here is the fact that this guy, even though I'm replacing the body with the Fortnite character, it actually works in the Metahuman blueprint. And not only that, it works with Control Rig. And it works with Control Rig out of the box. You don't have to do anything else. So yeah, pretty excited to showcase this. And yeah, it's been really fun to use this avatar. I'm probably going to use a stylized avatar from now on instead of showing myself on camera. But we'll see. Now, let's get to the video. All right, here we are in Blender, and in order to get these files, you can follow a link to a YouTube video down below because I'm not going to take credit for this. This I got from someone else's video, so you can go to that video and download the files from there. And they're all Blender files. So once you get the Blender files, you need Blender for it to open. This is not an FBX. It's not going to go directly into Unreal. You're going to get your character. And one of the best things about this is that you get your character with texture and it's already rigged, so we don't have to do anything extra. Now for this tutorial level, because like I mentioned in the intro, there's going to be 2 levels of this, and this is going to be the easy mode. You're going to have to do the mesh to metahumans if you want your character's face. So let's say you want this character's face. I'm going to leave a link in the description to my video, which if you haven't watched it, you should watch it before doing this process, where you can use mesh to metahuman to get his head as a metahuman and then bring it over into Unreal. But first we need to separate it because right now this is one single mesh. So what we can do, because we're going to be using a metahuman, we're not going to care so much about the skeleton of the face. We do care about the skeleton of the body. And if you want, you can export the hair separately, and I'll show you later how to attach it in Unreal. So first thing that we're going to do is go into edit mode, and here you can select the polygons. You just go into polygon mode. I'm going to select one polygon from his face, Control L to select all the linked polygons. This is because This mesh is composed of different meshes attached together. So just do Control L to select all linked faces or normals, and then press the letter P and just click on selection. That will separate the head. So we already have a head separated. Now this will be the point where if you do want to use mesh to Metahuman, you would just go into File, Export, FBX, and make sure you selected objects, you export selected object. One particular thing about these blend files is they are 10 times the scale of Unreal. For some reason, I don't know. But you can get around that by just clicking here into scale and do 0.1 as your scale. And always remember in geometry to do smoothing face so you don't get the jaggy edges. And because you're only exporting the head, just click on mesh. That should be enough. You don't need the skeleton to use mesh to Metahuman. All right. Now that I've separated this, I'm actually going to delete it because I'm going to go back to object mode, get the head, get rid of the head. As you can see, we have a very creepy look here. We're going to delete everything else, but you can separate other parts of the body that you want to use. So let's say if you want to use the hair, you would use exactly the same way that I did with the face. So let's just do it one more time. Go into edit mode, we just select the polygon, Control L to select linked, then press the letter P, selection, and that separates the mesh. So you can just click here and export it out as a separate mesh. So I'm just gonna delete these. And I'm going to get rid of this too. Let's go into over here, edit mode, select all these, Control L, make sure I've selected everything, Control L. I'm just gonna delete it. There you go. Okay, now we have a body with no head. And it doesn't matter. All we have to do now is I'm gonna go into File, Export, FBX, choose wherever you wanna export it. Make sure you have mesh and armature. Everything else you don't need. We just need mesh and armature. However, I deleted everything else, so I just leave this as it is. Now the path mode, usually you would do copy and you'll click here to embed the textures within the FBX. I did this and it didn't work, but if it works for you, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm not a Blender master user, so I may be doing something wrong. So if you have any tips for me in Blender, also leave it in the comment section down below. I come from Maya and all those. Been starting using Blender a little bit more recently. Now remember, the scale has to be 0.1. Again, for some reason, these guys are scaled 10 times. Everything else, just leave it as it is. Go here and remember to click on face. In bake animation, just leave it like that if you want, because we're not going to be using any of the animations, and just click on Export XBX and that's it. All right, here we are in Unreal, and just to show you how that Blender file looks, actually imported the whole non-separation. I just brought him as he is. As you can see, looking very, very nice with all his texture maps. Just, you know, very Fortnite-ish, and so are the other ones. Now that I'm looking at him, his head could probably be a little bit smaller, but I thought it would look fine. Anyways, you need to bring in the maps and create the material yourself because it's not going to do it for you. Because again, I don't understand why the FBX wasn't coming up with a texture. It usually does. All you got to do is create your material. It's very straightforward. So the color goes in the base color. It has a emissive map that you can multiply by something. And it also has a normal map. These are the necessary ones. These other maps that I have here are the ones that I got by trial and error. I don't know if I did things correctly aside from ambient occlusion and metalness. So these are the other textures that came with the model. So if you go to this texture, for instance, this is an ORD map just like those Quixel maps. So if we turn off green and blue, we get this. And if we turn on green, we get this, which I presume is metalness because it's highlighting belt buckle. So I'm just going to assume this is metalness. And either blue or red is Roughness, I think I have plugged in the blue for the roughness in this case. And then there's this other map right here where if we double click it, we can see that it's also a RGB ORD pack map. So the red channel is ambient occlusion. The green channel is specularity. That I know for sure. These two I'm for sure that this is ambient occlusion and this is specularity. I'm also for sure that this one is metalness. The other channels, I'm not that positive. Just, you know, use them as you will, experiment, and let me know how it goes. Remember to post on the Discord, or if you use Twitter, you can tag me on Twitter. I usually like to see what people do in my tutorials. It's pretty fun. So once you have your materials, you're gonna have to do this for the head, for the hair, and everything else if you imported the hair, and then just get it into Fortnite. Now, if you did separate the head, like I told you, you're gonna get something like this one right here. So this is the, let me delete this one. And this is the Jonesy with no head. This is the one you wanna use. And this is how it's going to come into Unreal. Because what we're gonna do is we're going to stitch together the Metahuman head into the Fortnite body. And I know I've done this process before in another video, but this one I figured some very particular things. So just follow me on this one. Now what you need to do is either create new actor, or you can use the one from your Metahuman. If you created a Metahuman, just download your Metahuman as usual. And as you can see, I do have my Metahuman right here. This is the base Metahuman, and of course I already did that bit with the opacity mask. I'm going to leave a link in the description in case you need those files again, but just do the opacity mask from that video, should be a link in the description. So you can delete the lower part that usually comes with the Metahuman, so it doesn't interfere with your other character. Now what you need to do, as always, duplicate. And I'm not gonna give it a very specific name. Now, the fun part about this, and this is what I found hilarious, and I don't understand why I didn't do it this way before, is you can actually go, and let's go to where the character is located. And we're gonna drop this into the skeletal mesh. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or not. It doesn't auto-update it for some reason that I completely don't understand. So let's just go back to where this is located. Close it. You don't even need to save it. Just close it. Open it again. And your skeletal mesh should show up. Again, I don't know if this is a bug of 5.1. Maybe it's fixed in 5.2. I am saying 5.1 because the motion capture plugin has not released a update to the plugin to 5.2. Now you're probably going to get something like this. That means the skin material is going over the body for some reason. All you have to do is click on the reset button and it should acquire your textures. Now at this point it kind of looks okay, but it's not. Actually, if you get close to the neck, you're going to see that the neck is sort of weird because it's doing that weird stretchy thing that it does whenever we stick the Metahuman into a different type of body. Now before we do that, we can actually delete all these because we're not going to need them. From the face, you can delete the hair if you want to use the hair from Jonesy. I have it right here, so if you wanted to use his hair, you would just attach it the same way that I'm going to show the face. To fix the weird neck issue, we need to do the animation blueprint thing that I did last time. So if I go into the animation blueprint, I actually cloned one so I can show you. Go to double click your animation blueprint, click on anim graft, and come here to where it says cache pose, and here copy pose for mesh. Make sure that you uncheck use attach from parent. Once you uncheck that, that should be all you need to do. And after that, we just load it here. And as you can see, his neck pops up and it's no longer looking all thick and weird. Before we do anything else, we need to attach it to the head socket. And it's gonna do that. After that, we just do 90 degrees and bring it down however much we need. I'm also aware that this is getting a get skeletal mesh compiling error. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so I think this is fine. You can bring your head a little bit lower, a little bit higher, however you want. And I like to scale it down. So just 0.05, so 95% instead of 100%. According to what we just saw, I may need to have his head be much smaller, so just do it however you feel like you want to do it and get it to a size that you're comfortable with. Now, once you've done that, you can actually use this character. That is it. Let's fix the get skeletal mesh. Just to be fair, I fixed these compiling issues for my sake of, I'm not going to say OCD, but I just don't like to see compiling error. So all you got to do is click here. It will take you here, right click, and just click on get skeletal mesh, in this case face. And all you have to do is replace this one. If you hit compile, you can see it gets rid of that one. If we click here, you can see that the issue is here again. I'm going fast because I've done this in a previous tutorial. So all you have to do is, again, get skeletal mesh. Just type whichever, delete this, then go into here, here, and here. You can delete this one, compile, and save. And you can see all your compiling errors are gone. By the way, if you're not seeing his hair or anything else, or if you're new to Metahumans, you may want to do the LOD sync. Make sure this one is 1, and just do this one at 0. So it's always at the highest Metahuman LOD. All right, now that we have him this way, let me show you another cool thing about this guy. Go back to where Metahumans are located. Well, I think I have 1,000 of them. All right, it's this one. So the curious thing about this particular Metahuman that we've created that I wanted you all to see is the fact that if we go into sequencer, let me just create another sequence. So test tutorial. And let me add him over here. Now he does react just like any Metahuman would. So his face moves. He's a little bit stylized, so some things may look a little bit weird, but they usually work pretty well outside of the box. Now, when it comes to the body animations, this is where I think it's very particular. All you have to do is go to track, go to body. So if we click on body, you're gonna get the skeletal mesh that we had for the Jonesy character. Now the good part is that if you right click on body and you go into bake control rig and you just uncheck this, you can see that we can see them all because it's not filtering by it's specific to the skeleton. But if we select control rig mannequin body and you give it a little bit, you're gonna see that we have control rig for this. And of course, we don't use the Metahuman controller because this isn't a Metahuman body. This isn't a mannequin either, I don't know, but I think the bones are pretty much the same as the mannequin. It's just in a different pose. Now, as you can see, we have control rig here and everything moves just like if this was a mannequin. Like I said, don't add the control rig for the Metahuman, add the one for the mannequin that I just showed you, and you should be able to just use it. And it works perfectly fine. This is what I love about these Fortnite characters is they work right out of the box without doing anything. And as you saw from the intro, this works well with motion capture. It works perfectly. Now, that is how to customize a Metahuman to make it look more stylized and to make it wear the Fortnite skin. Now, in a coming video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the whole workflow that I did to get this exact head. It's going to be a different level because, like I said, it requires a little bit of 3D artwork to make this happen, but it's not as hard as you think. So we're gonna go through it. And as usual, thanks a lot to my patrons. My patrons are on screen right now, level 1 and level 2. There's 2 tiers so you can select, and thank you so much for donating. It means a lot. But if you can't donate to the channel, then leaving a like and leaving a comment for the algorithm to remember me goes a long way. Subscribe if you haven't. There's the Twitter. I've gotten a lot of Twitter followers recently. I don't know how, but yeah, Twitter has been growing, so follow me there too, so you can see more of the channel outside of YouTube. And yeah, we've been growing a lot recently. We got up to 30,000 subscribers, which is a milestone for myself. It's been 3 years since I restarted pretty much the channel. And yeah, I'm loving every second of it and everything that this channel has brought me. I love having an audience. I love having everybody that likes to watch. And I really think that this uptick in subscriber was because of every single one of you. Somebody is sharing my videos. Some of you have been really helpful in sharing, because that's the only way that YouTube says, hey, let me recommend this video even more, when you are the ones that share my video. So thanks a lot for that. Come to the Discord if you want to have a word with me, or if you have any questions. And yeah, stay tuned for coming videos.